Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This week's Parsha is Vayakhel. So if we remember from last week's Parsha, it was the Parsha where the sin of the golden calf occurred. As we remember, Moshe, the Jewish people have been freed from Egypt, the sea split, they are now walking in the desert, and Moshe goes up to Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, to receive the 10 Commandments. While he's up there, the Jewish people get a little scared, and they go to Aaron and they say, we need this guy Moses, we don't know where he's gone. We need some sort of leader, something to make us feel better. And so they build the golden calf out of the gold of that they have. Moshe comes down from Har Sinai, throws the luchot, the tablets, to the ground, and is very, very angry. But when God says, okay, I'm just going to destroy them, Moshe begs for God not to destroy the Jewish people. So that's the events of last week's Parsha. And then this week's Parsha just begins with a reminder of the laws of Shabbat and a reminder of how to build the Mishkan, the portable tabernacle in the desert. And if we think about that, it feels a little disconnected, right? Like we just had this bad thing happen, and now we're no longer on narrative. We're like moving on to like mitzvot. That's not what it is at all. I learned this from a really, really great Dvar Torah from Rabbi Sachs of blessed memory. So what Rabbi Sachs says is that the Shabbat and Mishkan mitzvot, being directly after the sin of the golden calf, is an attempt to unite a very divided, stressed, mixed up group. That the two things that make community is a ritual to gather around Shabbat, and B, a place to worship, the Mishkan. I think this is just excellent. So Rabbi Sachs brings in a lot of different examples. He talks about how with Darwin, the idea of natural selection at the individual level, the individuals that survive and the individuals that pass their genes on are the ones that are ruthless and aggressive and are survival of the fittest, the most fit. So you would think that if only the most fit are the people who are having children and multiplying and creating generations, that then society would be most successful if everyone was ruthless and aggressive and out for themselves. That's not it at all. And Darwin couldn't draw a conclusion from this. Communities that showed sympathy, that were altruistic, that supported one another, were more successful than communities of individuals. So what we see here is that what works on the individual level does not work on the community level. And Darwin literally could not draw a conclusion about this. Like, what does it mean that the people in the community can't be out for themselves and ruthless, but the individuals have to be out for themselves and ruthless? And so what I think this shows us is the power of a community. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be, oh, certain kinds of people survive because of this. It's that when we join together, sheer numbers and being together, feeling like a group, doing something together, makes us succeed. And so with the building of the Mishkan, like I said, it's a gathering place, but it's also like everyone brings in, we talked about this before, gold and furs and fabrics to build the Mishkan. Everyone who wants to bring is told to bring. And it's like the IKEA effect, that when you make a table yourself, when you build a chair yourself, you feel so proud of it. It's worth more to you. As well as when you do all these psychological studies about when you build things as a group, team building exercises, if you have to company retreats kind of things, it makes you more united. And so in response to the divided, scary, stressed group of people that built the golden calf, to have the laws of Shabbat, to have something to gather around and build together, is the most successful way to build community and figure out how to get everyone to chill out. Another thing that Rabbi Sachs talks about is that a person who prays alone is less likely to give charity than a person who goes to a house of worship with their partner. So a person who goes to a house of worship with their partner, whether or not they believe in it or not, a person who prays alone is less altruistic than a person who goes to a house of worship, even if they don't believe in the thing that they're worshiping. What does this tell us? Even a person alone worshiping isn't as generous and community-minded as a person who goes to a house of worship without even believing in it. So the act of just being a part of a community is so powerful and makes us such better people because we have a bigger picture. We're part of something bigger and it makes us better. And I think this is have the Jews kept Shabbat, or has Shabbat kept the Jews? Vishamru, the song, the text from Vishamru was in last week's Parsha about how it will be a covenant for the nations. It will be the thing that keeps the Jewish people, because of course that's in the commandment of Shabbat. And I think it's just so powerful. I love being reminded of this. And I think we should be so grateful to be a part of a Jewish community and to be part of a religion that values community above all else. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Wishing you a great week, and God willing, I'll see you next week.